Hi, welcome to the decade. You might have heard about the Black Lives Matter movement, the biggest movement in the history of America. You have also heard about the New Year's Day protest in Hong Kong. But have you heard about the Right to Repair movement? No? So, in this episode, we are going to learn about the need and some aspects of the Right to Repair movement. The right to repair movement is rooted since the 1950s. It started as a vehicle repair policy and then reached the electrical appliance industry. The movement basically demands that manufacturers make authentic spare parts of a product available to buyers of that product, giving them the power to get their product repaired from independent repair shops instead of depending solely on the manufacturer for authentic parts. And now, the blaze of the right to repair has reached the feet of the technology industry, especially in response to planned obsolescence. According to Investopedia, planned obsolescence is a strategy of deliberately ensuring that the current version of a given product will become out of date or useless within a known time period. And recently, Apple had to pay 3.4 million US dollars to settle a lawsuit in Chile that accused the company of iPhone planned obsolescence. Every moment in history is nothing but just a clash between two distinct thoughts, interests, and ideologies. Similarly, in this right to repair movement, the tiff is between technology entities and consumers. The protesters are basically the consumers, and the protectors are the tech giant. From consumer viewpoint, with the goal of making the company provide spare parts, tools, and information on how to repair, the users are demanding certain reforms. The movement stems from the fact that in the absence of competition, the manufacturer fixes the cost of repair as high as they want, since their authorized centers would also adhere to that cost itself, which would leave users with no cheaper alternative, resulting in consumer exploitation. For example, iPhone maker Apple has a proprietary 5 points rule in its phones that cannot be opened by anyone but Apple or its authorized service centers. Along with it, getting an iPhone 13 screen replaced by an unauthorized third party repair store could result in the Face ID feature on the phone stop working completely. People are claiming that electronic manufacturers encourage planned obsolescence, which means devices are designed only to last for a limited period and replacement. The tech companies knowingly slow down older models or products so that consumers buy the newer ones and drive up the sales. Essentially, from the user viewpoint, it's their exploitation, forcing them to pay for a new phone when the previous one does not have any issue and are being slowed down deliberately without the device having any hardware issues. Most tech companies also require devices to be repaired only from company approved or authorized repair shops and not independent repair shops, or else it would impact the device's warranty. Manufacturing an electronic device is a highly polluting process. It makes use of polluting source of energy, such as fossil fuel, which has an adverse impact on the environment. For instance, a New York Times report states that the mining and manufacturing material used to make an iPhone represents roughly 83% of its contribution to the heat trapping emission in the atmosphere throughout its life cycle. Big tech companies like Microsoft and Apple are actively resisting the right to repair movement and are lobbying against the movement by arguing that opening up their intellectual property to the third party repair service could lead to exploitation and impact the safety of their devices. With the free hand to independent repair shops, most of the companies are posing that consumers could end up being vulnerable to repair shops that do not have authentic parts or manuals, ultimately damaging their device. In more extreme cases, there could also be a malevolent repair shops, and handing over the device to such shops could compromise the security and privacy of the user. Interestingly, while other tech giants were seen strongly opposing the right to repair movement, Steve Wozniak, the Apple co-founder, voiced his support for the movement. He said, "We wouldn't have had an Apple had I not grown up in a very open technology world." And he totally supports the right to repair movement and that the people behind the movement are doing the right thing. The US president has signed an executive order called on the Federal Trade Commission to curb restrictions imposed by manufacturers that limit consumers' ability to repair their gadgets on their own terms. The UK too introduced right to repair rules with the aim of extending the lifespan of products by up to 10 years. Manufacturers of products like washing machines, televisions, and refrigerators are required to make spare parts available to people purchasing electrical appliances. However, it does not cover all electrical appliances. Smartphones and laptops, however, have been excluded. We deserve the right to repair the things we own, and so the environment deserves it equally. And therefore, now we have to see whether such a spark or movement is just the starting of a new chapter of revolution or it's an ending. Will tech companies create an ecosystem where a consumer can exercise its right to repair, or will they protect it?